Hey, it's Coach Rick Storlie again, and today I'm going to share two more tips on how to get in front of more qualified leads. Again, my name is Rick Storlie, and I help home builders and remodelers reach their sales goals. I've developed a 5-step sales system that generates a steady stream of new leads. It creates value through education. We employ cutting edge technology to identify the leads most likely to buy from you, and it's got my 20 plus years of sales and management experience built right into it. So today we're going to be focusing in more on step one and what we call offline lead generation strategies. In our last video, we looked at how to use model homes or perhaps a pre-sold project, whether it's remodeling or a custom home, and print advertising. Now, our next four offline strategies revolve around events, your realtor outreach program, geographic farming, and referrals. Today we're going to take a closer look at events and realtor outreach program. So beginning with events, pretty much there's about maybe 7 different types of events that you could use. One would be what's called we call a pre-sold or remodeling project, one time only open house. Then we can do a grand opening, say for an inventory home or a model home. We can also do a grand closing. So if you've had a home up for a while, you've sold it, you're about ready to shift it over to the new buyers, and we can do one more event, sort of a last chance to get through it. Now, some of my clients are using what's called a construction walkthrough, in where they will invite their prospects to come walk through a home, let's say at once the framing is completed and the rough-ins have been completed, but before insulation and drywall. You can also, some of you might participate in a home show. So a local home show through like a chamber of commerce, where you're there with multiple other vendors. Realtor events, which we'll talk more in detail about here in just a second. And then also a new project launch. So if you have a group of lots or perhaps a new neighborhood you're developing or buying, this is something where you can do, pre-promote that neighborhood to create an interest list and get some pre-sales going right away. Now, let's look at how to use these. The best tool for converting online leads into on-site prospects is the event, bar none. So it's something that I recommend using at least once per month. Now, unlike model hours, these events create urgency. So a model, you're open 7 days a week or 3 days a week or 5 days a week, whatever it is, but it's consistent. There's no urgency there. Whereas an event, you want to use once a month to create that extra special urgency. And I recommend doing an event January through December. There's no reason not to have one each month. Will you have better results in, say, March than you might in July? Absolutely. But there's still no reason not to do one. Now, most builders do put too much effort into events. Don't go overboard. You don't need to have food, drinks, themes, and all this good stuff. You don't have to go way overboard. Just have the event, because remember, the primary reason people want to come to your event is to get information on design, your locations, and pricing. That's it. So don't feel like you got to go overboard and spend a bunch of money and plan it for months at a time. Now, the best events, drum roll please, the best events are pre-sold homes and remodeling projects where your client and design team might be there to meet with your prospects. Okay, so here's the situation. You've been either built a custom home or maybe a custom remodeling project. There is an owner for it. If it's a custom home, you're going to show that home for about 2 or 3 hours, one day only, prior to that owner taking possession. You invite the owner to come, to come and sit in the home. You invite your design team to sit in the home. Invite the people you built with in the past to come see it. Invite your prospects, invite your leads. And here's what happens. The cool part about it is that it's very exclusive. It's private. It's invite only. So people are excited to go to it. The other thing is that this is a custom home built for somebody. So there's going to be cool features in it that you would not normally show in a model home, or perhaps you don't even have model homes. And finally, your client or the person that you built the home for is going to do more to sell for you than, say, any of your other leads and any of your salespeople could do, or you could do as an owner. Now, promotion. You should promote all your events approximately 10 days ahead of time. So you start 10 days ahead of time, and that promotion is going to include emails, postcards, phone calls, and text messages to your best prospects. You're going to get signage out the day of event. You're going to promote it on social media, Facebook events, Twitter. Might even do a YouTube video for it. And then if it's applicable, do a press release as well. All right, let's take a little bit closer look here at realtors. Now with realtors, I recommend you have what's called the Top 10 and Top 100 program. And so I'll expand on that here a little bit more in a second. With realtors, it all starts with a corporate program. So you need to develop a corporate VIP program. And what I recommend is simply like a pay for performance. In other words, the more of your projects or homes the realtors sell, the more they get paid. So let's say the first sale is market rate. The second sale bumps up 0.25%, and then the third and subsequent sales might bump up another 0.25%. The key thing you need to understand with realtors is that you do not need a ton of realtors to be following you. You just need to get a few of the key realtors that are in your local marketplace that have demonstrated the ability to sell your price range and types of homes. In other words, if you're selling townhomes, they have demonstrated they sell townhomes in your geographic area in your marketplace. And then you identify the top 10 realtors active in your marketplace and the top 100. So I also recommend is that once you've identified them, you probably do an event quarterly for realtors. So the simplest event, of course, is when you have say an inventory home open and you invite them to it. But you can also invite realtors to your pre-sold stuff as well. You know, where they might bring a client through to show it to them, and you might be able to get a build off of it. But at a minimum, once per quarter, you do a realtor event. And remember, realtors events, you do not have to have them come to you. You can go to them. So you can certainly do a realtors event at a local office or multiple offices around your area. I also like to use realtors as a focus group. So if I'm looking at developing a new plan or building a new spec home or model home, or maybe even buying into a certain neighborhood or a lot group, I would go to my top 10 realtors and I would get their feedback. And what this does is this creates this synergy where the realtors feel like they are truly your partners and they will take some ownership in what you're doing. So they're more likely to refer you and bring people to you than say your competitors. So it's a great way to work on realtors with new plans and projects. And of course, realtors have big egos, so they're always happy to give their opinion. Now, have at least 3 to-be-builts. Have at least 3 to-be-builts listed on the MLS at all times. I'd recommend like a low range or entry level, one mid range, and one high. And if you have multiple projects or multiple neighborhoods, each neighborhood should have a minimum of 3 to-be-builts. It's a great way, again, to get more realtor interaction. And of course, with Realtor.com and Trulia and Zillow, the MLS is going to feed those as well. So you might be able to get some consumer leads out of that as well. Now, as regards to commissions with your own sales staff, never penalize your sales staff for realtor sales. In other words, if your commission rate is 2% or 2.5% or whatever it is for when your salesperson sells one of your homes, do not penalize them if there's a realtor involved. What I mean by that is if the realtor comes in and then you say, well, there's a realtor involved, sorry, Jane, but instead of getting 2.5%, you're not only going to get 2%. Because what that'll do is that's just human nature. Your salespeople are going to work against the realtors, which is going to do you absolutely no good. So make sure you have the same commission rate throughout. And then finally, last but not least, when it comes to remodelers, you might be thinking, what the heck do realtors, what do they have to do with me? There is a ton of work to be had from realtors, a ton of work, both for when they have to go list homes and when they have buyers and they're buying homes. But it's not that unusual to have a home sold today that needs a lot of remodeling work and where the remodeling company will come in and do the work before the new buyers ever take possession. I have clients doing this right now, and they're generating, sometimes more than $1 million a year in business by focusing on partnering with local realtors in their marketplace. It definitely works. Hey, that's it for today. Hopefully you got some more tips on how to use events and work with realtors to get more leads in front of you. Happy selling.